But even if you had visa-free travel, not everything moves on a plane. So you would still need the ability for trucks to move from one country to another without waiting for days at the border, you know, to sell their goods. Exactly, exactly. So for me, these are the basics, you know. And if we really have a prayer of, you know, achieving the Africa we want, we need to do these basics and really focus on them. So I'm saying that where I want to take the bank is really a focused organization that really focuses on these very basic, you know, requirements for Africa's development.
Okay. All right. Of course, in the process, I know we have mentioned notable challenges that perhaps Africa continues to face, and even the bank itself. So even as you speak about this, what are your intentions toward addressing some of these challenges? What are some of the notable ones that you'd say, this I would want to face off, because then this is going to guarantee us growth and progress, even as you respond to how then you're going to engage the global partners, as well as now the private sector itself that you're huge on in ensuring that the AfDB's goals are achieved. And when you're talking about the global space as well, I mean, we must not overlook the fact that there is quite the need to create a balance and navigate the power tussles that, you know, exist between African and non-African shareholders.
So I mean, I need to address that one first, because I don't think that the tussles, you know, within the organization, you know, are as bad as maybe the people would believe. The bank has got a charter, and that charter is very clear. When you become a shareholder of the bank, that's the governing document for the bank. So everyone working in the organization and leading the organization is seized, you know, in terms of the issues dealt with by the bank in the context of that charter. Right. So yes, there may be nuances, there may be differences, but I think in general, everybody refers back to what is the mandate of this organization of the African Development Bank. So it's not really no. But I do think that sometimes the discussions become tough, especially in terms of the Africa we want and what we want to achieve, when in fact we don't focus on how we can play a role in helping ourselves as a continent, where, you know, the immediate and always the sort of default position is that, we have to go and get money elsewhere, you know, from other countries, from other donors who have to go to their taxpayers to get that money. Right. And that's really, I think, the opportunity for Africa right now, in the world that we live in, to say that what of our resources can we use and leverage for our own development? Right. And I think this is where the financial innovation comes in, where in fact we can look at what we have, whether it's institutional funds and whether it's mineral resources, you know, to say how can we leverage this to fund our own development so that we are not dependent entirely on others. Of course, partnerships are very important. I'm not suggesting at all that this is we should become insular. You know, unlike maybe others, I am firmly in favor of working together and collaborating. Working with the other development institutions. If you look at AfriExim, if you look at Africa 50, you know, all of these types of Africa Finance Corporation, all of these types of institutions all over the continent, by the way, all of them working on some aspect of what Africa needs to achieve the Africa we want. Imagine if we could all come together